You wake up every morning with the same hunger. More money, more recognition, more proof that you matter. You chase success like it's oxygen, convinced that once you reach that next milestone, the emptiness will finally stop whispering. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every achievement you've celebrated has left you exactly where you started. Still hungry, still restless, still convinced that happiness lives somewhere outside of you. What if the entire game is rigged? What if the very thing you're chasing is the reason you can't find peace? The Stoics understood something we've forgotten, that the obsession with external success is not ambition, it's a slow form of self-destruction. And the man who ruled the most powerful empire in history knew this better than anyone. Not because he rejected success, but because he achieved it and discovered it meant nothing. This isn't a story about giving up. This is about waking up. Let me ask you something. When was the last time an accomplishment truly satisfied you? Not for a day, not for a week, but permanently. When was the last time you crossed a finish line and thought, I'm done, I've arrived, I need nothing more? The answer is never, because that's not how it works. We live in a culture that has weaponized your insecurity. Every advertisement, every social media post, every motivational speech is designed to make you feel incomplete. And the solution they sell you? External success. Get the promotion, buy the car, build the following, achieve the body. And then only then will you finally be enough. But here's the trap. External success is built on things you cannot control. You can work 18 hours a day and still lose the promotion to office politics. You can build a perfect product and watch it fail because the market shifted. You can dedicate your life to someone and watch them walk away. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. There are things within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your character. And there are things outside your power, other people's opinions, the outcomes of your efforts, the movements of fate. And every moment you spend tying your peace to things outside your control is a moment you spend handing your life over to chaos. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. He commanded armies. He held the power of life and death over millions. And yet, in his private writings, he reminded himself of this truth over and over. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about what that means. The most powerful man in the world telling himself that his power was an illusion. That the only thing he truly controlled was how he responded to the world, not the world itself. Now compare that to your life. How much of your mental energy is spent worrying about things you cannot change? How much of your happiness depends on variables you'll never control? You're fighting a war you're designed to lose. And the cost is everything. Because here's what happens when you base your worth on external validation. You become a slave. Not to a person, but to circumstance. Your mood becomes a stock ticker, rising and falling with every success and failure. You wake up anxious, wondering if today is the day you'll finally prove yourself. And you go to bed disappointed, because no matter what you achieved, it still wasn't enough. This is not freedom. This is a prison you built with your own hands. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about why no amount of success will ever be enough. There's a concept in psychology called the hedonic treadmill. It's simple. No matter what you gain, your baseline happiness returns to where it started. Win the lottery, and within a year, you're just as happy or unhappy as you were before. Get the promotion, buy the house, marry the person, and the initial high fades into ordinary life. You adapt. You normalize, and then you want more. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years before modern psychology confirmed it. They called it the insatiability of desire, and they recognized it as one of the greatest sources of human suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. The present is all you have. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But this moment is yours." But we don't live that way, do we? We live in a perpetual state of wanting the next thing, the better thing, the thing that will finally complete us. And in doing so, we turn life into a transaction. Every moment becomes a stepping stone to somewhere else. And we never arrive, because arrival is not the point. The system is designed to keep you moving, keep you consuming, keep you believing that satisfaction is just one more purchase away. This is the trap. Desire is infinite. Resources are finite. And no matter how much you acquire, the gap between what you have and what you want will always remain. Because the moment you get what you desire, desire itself shifts. The goalpost moves. The finish line disappears. You think you want success. But what you really want is the feeling you believe success will give you. And that feeling, it doesn't come from external things. It never has. It comes from internal alignment, from living in accordance with your nature, from being the kind of person who doesn't need the world's permission to feel whole. But we've been conditioned to ignore this. We've been taught to look outward, not inward, to chase, not cultivate, to prove, not become. And so we run, faster and faster, achieving more and more. And the emptiness stays exactly where it's always been, right inside us, waiting for us to stop long enough to notice it. So let me ask you this. What are you really running from? Is it failure? Or is it the terrifying possibility that even success won't save you? What do you think? Have you ever felt this trap in your own life? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspective. Here's where everything shifts. What if life isn't about winning? What if it's about becoming? The Stoics had a word for this, arete. It's often translated as virtue, but that doesn't capture it. Arete means excellence of character. It means living up to your highest potential as a human being. Not in terms of wealth or status or achievements, but in terms of who you are when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius didn't measure his life by the battles he won or the territories he conquered. He measured it by whether he acted with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These were the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism. And they were the only things he considered truly valuable. Why? Because they're the only things that cannot be taken from you. Someone can steal your money. They can destroy your reputation. They can strip away your title, your health, your freedom. But they cannot make you a coward. They cannot force you to act unjustly. They cannot take away your ability to think clearly and respond with integrity. This is the Stoic revolution, the recognition that your character is the only thing you truly own. And therefore, it's the only thing worth investing in. Now think about how radical this is. We live in a world that tells you your value is determined by what you produce, what you own, what others think of you. But the Stoics are saying the opposite. Your value is determined by who you are. And who you are is entirely up to you. You can be broke and virtuous. You can be unknown and excellent. You can fail 1,000 times and still be successful, if success is measured by whether you acted in alignment with your principles. This doesn't mean you stop pursuing goals. It means you stop outsourcing your worth to those goals. You work hard, not because you need the outcome to validate you, but because excellence is its own reward. You contribute, not because you need recognition, but because contributing is what a good person does. And here's what happens when you make this shift. You become unshakable, because your peace no longer depends on variables outside your control. You're no longer at the mercy of the market, the algorithm, the opinion of strangers. You've built your foundation on something solid, something permanent. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and the constant threat of death. And yet, his writings are not filled with despair. They're filled with calm, because he knew that as long as he acted with virtue, nothing could truly harm him. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Simple, clear, uncompromising. This is what it means to improve your life, not by chasing more, but by being more. Not by acquiring, but by embodying. Not by proving your worth to the world, but by living in a way that makes proof irrelevant. Thank you for staying with me this far. I know this isn't easy to hear. But trust me, the best is still to come. Now we go darker. But stay with me, because this is where real freedom begins. The Stoics had a practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds morbid. It sounds pessimistic. But it's neither. It's one of the most powerful psychological tools ever devised. Here's how it works. You deliberately imagine losing everything you have: your job, your health, your relationships, your life. You don't do this to torture yourself. You do it to strip away the illusion that these things are permanent. Because they're not. Everything you have is on loan. And one day, the universe will take it back. Marcus Aurelius practiced this religiously. He would remind himself every morning that he might not live to see the evening, that the people he loved might die, that his empire might crumble. Not because he was depressed, but because he wanted to be ready. He wanted to live fully, knowing that nothing lasts. And here's the paradox. By imagining loss, you actually appreciate what you have more. Because you stop taking it for granted. You stop treating your life like it's owed to you. You start seeing every moment, every connection, every breath as a gift. But there's something deeper happening here. When you regularly confront the possibility of losing everything, success loses its grip on you. Because you've already mentally rehearsed the worst-case scenario. You've already survived it in your mind. And so the fear that drives you to chase external validation begins to dissolve. What can the world take from you if you've already let it go? This is not nihilism. This is clarity. When you stop clinging to outcomes, you stop being controlled by them. You act with full effort, but without desperation. You pursue your goals, but without attachment. You engage with life, but without the fear that drives most people into quiet madness. Think about your biggest fear right now: losing your job, being rejected, failing publicly. Now imagine it happens. Really imagine it. Sit with the discomfort, and then ask yourself, would you survive? Would you still have your mind? Your ability to choose your response? Your capacity for growth? The answer is yes. You would survive. And in that survival, you would discover something the Stoics knew all along, that you are far more resilient than you think. That the things you're terrified of losing are not what make you whole. Marcus Aurelius lost everything over the course of his life. His children died. His allies betrayed him. His body failed him. And yet, he remained himself, because he had cultivated something that death itself could not touch. This is the final lesson of negative visualization. When you stop fearing loss, you stop needing success. And when you stop needing success, you become free. So where does this leave you? You could continue the chase, climbing ladders that lean against nothing, collecting victories that expire the moment you claim them, spending your life trying to fill a void that was never meant to be filled from the outside. Or you could do what the Stoics did. Turn inward, reclaim your power, and build a life on something that cannot be taken from you. But there's one final piece. One more reversal that completes the picture. The deepest fulfillment doesn't come from personal achievement. It comes from contributing to something greater than your own ego. Marcus Aurelius understood this at the highest level. He wrote, "What is your profession? Being a good person, not being an emperor, not being successful. Being good, being useful, being part of the interconnected whole." The Stoics believed in something called oikeiosis, the natural affinity we have for others. The recognition that we are not isolated individuals, but parts of a larger organism. That your well-being is inseparable from the well-being of others. That the meaning of your life is found not in what you take, but in what you give. This is the ultimate paradox. The more you focus on yourself, the emptier you become. The more you focus on contributing, the more fulfilled you feel. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive. Were they moments of personal triumph? Or were they moments when you helped someone? When you created something meaningful? When you were part of something bigger than yourself? Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his legacy isn't the battles he won. It's the wisdom he left behind. The private meditations he wrote to himself, never intending them to be published. Words that have guided millions of people for 2,000 years. That's contribution. That's immortality. You don't need an empire to live this way. You just need to shift your focus from what can I get to what can I give, from how do I prove my worth to how do I serve. And when you do this, something extraordinary happens. The anxiety dissolves, the hunger quiets. Because you're no longer measuring your life by external metrics. You're measuring it by whether you showed up, whether you acted with integrity, whether you made the world slightly better than you found it. This is what actually improves life, not success, not recognition, not the accumulation of things, but the cultivation of character, the practice of virtue, the contribution to something beyond yourself. Marcus Aurelius knew he would die. He knew his empire would fall. He knew his name would one day be forgotten. And yet, he wrote, do what nature demands. Set yourself in motion, if it is in your power, and do not look around to see if anyone will observe it. Do not hope for Plato's ideal state, but be satisfied with even the smallest step forward, and regard the outcome as no small matter. The smallest step forward. That's all it takes. Not perfection, not greatness, just the willingness to move in the direction of who you want to become. So I'll ask you one last time, is success worth the cost? Or have we been sold a lie? The choice has always been yours. It's just that no one told you there was another option. What do you think? Is this the truth you've been looking for, or do you see it differently? I want to hear your perspective. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If this resonated with you, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next exploration into philosophy, psychology, and what it means to live well. And after this, watch the next recommended video, because what we're about to uncover goes even deeper.